Okay, so we're going to start doing a combined thesaurus term and text word search in the databases. So we know our topic is looking for articles that describe the use of paracetamol and ibuprofen in young children with a fever. So we're going to pick one of those concepts to search on first. We'll start with ibuprofen. So if we type in our first term, ibuprofen, the first thing we need to do is to map it to see if there's a thesaurus term. So we tick the map to thesaurus and search. It takes us through to our list of thesaurus terms. Again, it maps directly to the term that I'm looking for, so I know it's the right one. And best practice, I'm just going to explode and search. So we have line 1 of our search in Medline. We've exploded our thesaurus term. So now we need to add in our text word terms. So if I just retype in ibuprofen, leave the default to title and abstract and click search. And then we have line 2 of our Medline search, and that's our own free text term in the title and abstract field. And we carry on searching on our text word terms in the same way. So we also had Nurofen. So we'll just type that in. It defaults to title and abstract. Now we don't need to map it because we know that's just another version of the term ibuprofen. So it would only map us back to the term we've already got. So we're searching for our free text terms in the title and abstract, and we click search. And we had one more line to add in, which was brufen, our final term. Title and abstract and search. And then we have our first 4 lines of our search describing our first concept, ibuprofen. So now we start to structure the search and combine our terms as we're going through. And because these are all talking about the same thing, we're going to use or. So we select the lines that we want to combine, we select or, and we combine them together. And we've got our final set of results here for all our ibuprofen terms. So now we've got that sorted, we then move on to our second concept. In this case, we're going to use paracetamol. So paracetamol, so we type in the first term, and again, the first thing we do is tick the map to thesaurus box and click search. It takes us through to our list of thesaurus terms. Again, this time it doesn't map us directly to paracetamol, but acetaminophen. And if we weren't sure that was the right one, if we click on the scope note and take a look at the terms down here, what we see is actually in the used for terms, paracetamol there. So anytime paracetamol occurs within the record, the indexer will apply acetaminophen. So we know that's the right one. So we want that one. Again, best practice, explode and search. So we have our second thesaurus term for our second concept. So now we just repeat the process with our text words for paracetamol. So paracetamol, for example, in the title and abstract, and search. Okay, and we had one more. We had Calpol. So if we type Calpol in, title and abstract, and search. Again, if you've got more synonyms that relate to paracetamol, you could add them in here. We're going to stop at this point and we're going to just work with these 3 here. So now we have all these 3 terms here that we talk about paracetamol. So we need to combine these together. Our second concept terms need to all be combined together. And again, because they all mean the same thing, they're all talking about paracetamol, we need to make sure that we choose or as the default and combine selected. Okay. So what we have is line 5, which has all our ibuprofen terms, line 9, which has all our paracetamol terms. We want to now start structuring the search as we're going along and building it up. So we want articles that talk about both ibuprofen and paracetamol. So what we need to do is to combine all our paracetamol terms and all our ibuprofen terms together. So these are the terms in line 5 with line 9. And because they're different, we're looking at ibuprofen, we're looking at paracetamol, we're now combining these terms with and we click combine selected. And what we're starting to do now is to narrow down our search. As you can see, we've gone from 11,000 odd ibuprofen terms, nearly 18,000 odd paracetamol terms, but together, when we add them together, we're down to 1,224. So we're starting to structure our search as we go along. But we have another concept to search on. So it's fever. So the first thing we do is we type in the term fever. we tick the Map to Thesaurus box and we click on Search. And again, this time it takes us through to a whole list of different thesaurus terms. And again, we can usually find the one in bold, which means it picks out the one it thinks is the most relevant. So in this case, this is right. We want fever. And you just got to be careful that you choose the right one in the line because they're not very clear. So once you've ticked the explode box, if you look up here and click on Search, and it will take us back through and it's added in fever. And the process continues in the same way. Now we search on our own free text terms for fever separately in the title and abstract. So we'll start with fever, and then we have pyrexia, title and abstract, search. And we have one more term to add in, which is febrile. Again, you can add in as many synonyms as you want as you're going along. Leave default to title and abstract and click search. So now we've searched on all of our fever terms. The next step is to then put all our fever terms together into one line. So we need to select the terms for fever, and because they all mean the same, we're going to combine them with or, and we click combine search. And once all our fever terms are together in one line, we need to think about how we're going to add them back into our search. Well, in line 10, we have all of our terms that talk about ibuprofen and paracetamol, but we also want them to talk about fever. So we want ibuprofen and paracetamol and fever. So now we're going to and in the line that has all of our fever terms with and. Combine selected. And we'll see what the results are. In any case, the results, because we're adding in an extra term for fever, will be less than our 1,200 odd results that we had before. And we're down to 225. Now we do have one more concept rather to add in, that's children, but these can be added in as part of our limits. We're going to take this search further and look at applying limits, which will include adding in our child age range as well in the next sections of the MOOC.